Welcome back to another episode here on the Sports Desk Live here on YouTube. It's your guy, 130 sportsologist, Dedrick L, Hicks Jr., and I'm joined by your new favorite.
Yes, sir. Mr. Move them chains.
Absolutely. And we are back here on the Sports Desk to give you your weekly Jacksonville Jaguar breakdown, give you your weekly Jacksonville Jaguar information to get you ready for this week's game. So again, welcome to the Jacksonville Jaguars weekly matchup show with my guy, your guy, Mr. Move Them Chains, Rashad Robinson. Rashad, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's a big week. No disrespect to the Colts, but the season starts now.
Okay.
We knew when the schedule came out in May that we needed to get past the Colts game because the real game, the season started in week 2, and we here now. We 24 hours away.
We are exactly here for sure. So, of course, the Jaguars coming off a great opening season victory against the Indianapolis Colts. Rashad, let's go ahead and jump into the quick recap of last week's game as the Jaguars are 1-0.
Yeah, man. So watching the game last week, it was pretty apparent that that team is going to be pretty good. Everything that we thought the team was going to be good. They showed it. They scored 31 points, and neither one of us thought that they had a good game.
No.
A lot of things to clean up. But overall, it's a win. It's a win on the road. It's a win by 10 points. And you can't beat that. You can't beat a win on the road by 10 points in your division with what you knew was probably looking ahead. They try to say they're not looking ahead, but they know they're looking ahead. Defense played pretty well. They stopped the Colts, I think, 4 times on fourth down. To give them a chance to win the game. Offense sputtered a little bit in the third quarter. They had a lazy turnover early in the fourth. I think it was late in the third or early in the fourth. But they rallied and they won by 10. And that's all you can ask for. It's better than the alternative. So they rallied and won. And that was what we needed to see.
Yeah, I agree. Now, did you agree with the notion that I had been saying on the live show and on the Jaguars matchup show that the Colts were not going to be a tough out, or do you think the Jaguars did it to themselves?
I think the Jaguars kind of did it to themselves. The element of the surprise was there last week. You didn't know what they were going to do with Anthony Richardson. You kind of knew what they were going to do on defense, but you had to be a little patient with that. And in the first quarter, in the first half, they did that. And it kind of seemed like they thought the Colts were going to lay down in the second half, and they didn't. They fought. They're at home. They got their home crowd. They fought. And I think with time, they're going to understand you got to put teams away. It seemed like in the fourth quarter, they didn't wake up until they were down by 4, and they said, oh, we got to put this team away.
Right.
And that's what showed me that they are a good team because they put them away when they needed to. And it was put the kids to bed. We go win this game. We'll holler at y'all in week 5. Or week 6, whatever we play them.
Well, I agree with you. I think the Jaguars did it to themselves, but I also think that like the Colts were going to be a tough out. They had the energy of Anthony Richardson and all the new hopeful for the city of Indianapolis. And that first half, the first quarter, I thought the Jaguars were going to blow them out. I said, oh Lord, Lawrence to Ridley up and down the field. Oh my God, they finna get these Bulls up out of here. But then the game started to slow down, emotions started to get in check, and then football really started to be played. So I do agree with you. There were so many opportunities for the Jaguars to score 50 in this game.
Yes.
But things happen. Right. So, most importantly, like you said, they got the win, 1-0, moving on. And now we have some visitors coming into town. Rashad, before we get into the breakdown, all my sports bet fans out there, whether you got FanDuel, whether you do MGM Grands, Prize Picks, so many different options out there for you to, try to win some cash. Try to win some cash with the Sports Desk, all right? So me and Black told y'all last week, shout out Black, that, hey, we hot right now. Me and Black had a hot weekend on the Prize Picks. So we're going to talk about this game for sure. Rashad, the Jacksonville Jaguars are underdog at home right now, currently, as we do this show, +3.5 underdog. Points is 51.5 over and under. What do you like about those odds in the Jags' favor? And do you like the points to be higher or lower than 51.5 for anybody who's wanting to put a ticket in?
Those points are gonna be over 51.5.
Okay.
Definitely. This gonna be over 51.5. Jags 3.5. I mean, hey, we playing the defending champs. If we
Yeah.
were playing them at their house, it'd probably be 6.5. They usually get a home team 3 points.
Yep.
And if they think that they're 3.5 points favored over us and we're at home, we just got to prove them wrong, man. We got it. This is a prove it year for the Jaguars with Vegas. So if you are a Jaguar fan and you want to make some money, make you some money this year, because after this year, it's gonna be you're gonna be favored way more in these games.
Yeah.
After next year. So if you want to make you some money, definitely take those 3.5 points. I would play the money line because I think we're gonna win the game straight up. I believe the money line is is plus 150.
Plus 150 currently. Yes.
Plus 150 currently. If you want to make you some money, you want to make you some real money, take that money line with the Jaguars and take the over, because it's gonna be explosive points everywhere in this game.
Well, the according to MGM Grand right now, it's a lot of money on the Kansas City Chiefs on the money line side. It's a lot of money on the Kansas City Chiefs. Just on the money line, but the Jaguars, a lot of people are taking the points. So it's a 52% ratio right now with the Jags plus 3.5. Money line of the Chiefs at 86%, and the over and under, people disagree. They think this game is going to go under currently right now. It is at 49%. Just a little tick. It's a little tick, but most people are thinking that this game is going to hold at the under at 51% right now. 51%.
Ooh, boy.
Now, of course, we got a few more hours till game time, but that will change. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So win some money with the sports desk. If you do cash in, comment below. Let us know. You know what I'm saying? If you cashed in on getting some little nuggets from Mr. Moodum Chains and Dedrick L. Hicks Jr. All right, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it, man. This is a big game down here in the Bangham. Rashad, what do you want to start off, man, with your takes coming up on this colossal game in the bank, Duval County?
Well, I think one of the things that we have to look at is how can the Jaguars fare on offense? How can they move the ball? What are the keys to being able to move the ball? One of the major keys is going to be the Jaguars offensive line controlling the Chiefs defensive line.
Okay.
They had a problem with that both times that they played them.
Right.
Chris Jones wreaking havoc.
He's back.
And he's back.
Yeah.
They got him his incentives that he needed to be able to come back for this game, and he's back. And we had a real tough time with DeForest Buckner last week. So now you're playing a guy who is the elite of the elite. The best defensive tackle in the NFL is coming back. Will he play every snap? Probably not. But the snaps that he's in there, he will make his presence felt.
Yes.
So the Jaguars offensive line, how do you combat that? Because we've seen where Spag likes to dial up all kind of blitzes.
Yeah, from everywhere.
The center, everywhere. They come from everywhere. In the most random times of the game, you will find a blitz that's coming from him that you're probably not going to see, because he's very well. He does a very good job of disguising all of his blitzes.
Right.
So, center, quarterback, y'all have to be in unison. Both of you have to be in unison with picking up these blocks, picking up these blitzes, recognizing them before they come. Because if you don't, last year we were on the comeback in the playoff game.
Right.
Blitz comes right off. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure Trevor's kicking himself right now. And he comes right off the end. Trevor throws the pick. Game's over. Game's over. You're down by 4. You get the ball. You make a big stop. You get the ball. As soon as you get the ball back, pick. That's the kind of stuff that can't happen, because when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you know you got to score. And when you have the opportunity to score, you have to score.
Facts.
Now, if the Jaguars can control the offensive line, the other thing that they have to do is be able to run the ball. Last year, we didn't run the ball. Last year, for whatever reason, Doug Peterson decided that he wanted to throw all over the field. And I believe Travis Etienne had 11 carries for 77 yards. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that means if you hand him the ball more, more than like you're not going to punt. Right. He's getting the yardage that you need, and
controlling
he's controlling
the
clock. He's controlling the game. He's keeping Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, even though he was hurt. But in this game, it's going to be big for the Jaguars to run the ball with Tank Bigsby, with Travis Etienne, controlling the clock. You want to have, if you have 3 drives that end in scores and they're 14 plays apiece, you're going to win this game.
Right.
That's what you want to do, because you want to put the pressure on the Chiefs to be able to try to score quickly, and they don't have the athletes that they used to have on that offense to be able to score that quickly. So that's what you want to do.
I think I feel you definitely on that. And then just to touch back on the offensive line versus defensive line, the Jaguars with Brandon Scherff, it's questionable if he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play with that high ankle sprain that he has going on. Now they say he's going to try to give it a go. As last reports that I saw on his
he's going to play. He's going to play. No. Doug said it. Doug said it yesterday. He's going to play.
Okay, all right. So that's a good sign. But I hope he's good enough to play. Because they need him. The Jaguars offensive line, Trevor and the protection, they need him there to present some type of force field against Chris Jones and just the momentum that he's going to bring. Now, I'm confident that they will. Now, the Chiefs defensive line and the Jaguars offensive line, you got one player separating them from almost being kind of equally on the same playing field, if you ask me. All right. But with Chris Jones there, I think the Chiefs get the slight advantage just because the pressure that he's going to be able to, put on Trevor. So it's going to be very, very critical. Can Brandon Scherff stay in the game? Is it going to be limited? I'm going to be watching for that as far as the certain protections that's going to be called for Trevor, especially in the past games. But I definitely agree with you. I didn't like how the Jaguars was running NTN last week in the first half and even into the third quarter. He finally broke loose in the fourth quarter last week and really iced the game for the Jaguars, so to speak. And Tank Bigsby, he kind of had a rough start with didn't he fumble like in the first quarter or second quarter?
Nah, he let a ball bounce off his hand.
Oh, yeah, in the air. Through the pit. And which ain't on Trevor. Tank got to bring that in. So hopefully Tank's nerves has calmed down. Hopefully Doug can get the plays in space with NTN, because that's what I think he's best at. I know you got to run the ball up the middle to keep the offense honest, defense honest. I understand that, but this dude is a weapon, man. He got to be in space and allow him the opportunity to get out and go. So that is definitely a great key point from you, Rashad, for sure.
Yeah. I think the problem that you're running into last week is the Colts really, really they got some studs in the middle.
They do.
Both of their defensive tackles are really, really good. They're one of the best tandems in the league, actually.
They are.
So I don't think that you're going to have that problem per se. This week, you're going to have to contain Chris Jones, but I think the rest of them, you can contain them. So I think that you're going to have an easier time running the ball this week versus last week. But yeah, that was the problem last week. They just couldn't. The middle, it was everything in the middle. All the pressure was coming from the middle. They were disrupting all of the run plays. Seems like on every run play, every time you hand the ball off, somebody's in the backfield. You got to make a cut in the backfield. That's no good. So I don't think you're gonna have to deal with that this week. But last week you definitely did. So getting the ball in space to ETN, getting the ball in space with Bigsby, a lot of screens. That's gonna slow down Spag running those blitzes. Is a lot of screens, a lot of draws. Give them something to think about. All right. And what's going to happen is the opportunities are going to be more down the field this game because Spag is very aggressive.
Yes, he is.
But cornerbacks aren't as good. So as good as our receivers.
Right.
So a lot of things is probably going to be opened up more. I think Trevor's going to throw for more yards. Hopefully he throws for more touchdowns, but I think he's definitely going to be able to throw for more yards because the opportunities are going to be there.
I agree. All right.
Yeah. So, but this is the real key matchup. We can score all the points we want.
Yes, sir.
But y'all see what I'm talking about. It's Mike Caldwell versus that boy.
That boy.
And we all know who that boy is.
Mr. 15.
Mr. 15. Throwing the ball underhand, overhand, with his eyes closed.
Whatever he want to
do. Whatever he wants to do on the field, that boy does it. So now, Mike Caldwell, how do you want to defend him?
Yeah.
Last week, I think your game plan was to have a very controlled rush against Anthony Richardson because he can run.
Yeah.
Now, Mahomes can run, but he doesn't want to run. He'd rather stay in the pocket. So I think you have to be a lot more aggressive with Patrick Mahomes in the way that you play your defense, tightening up everything. You can play zone, but you don't have to play this soft zone. Come up, disrupt the timing, make sure that you can knock him off his square. Tell your rushers they can't get up the field, but don't get beyond him. Rush at him, but don't get beyond him because he can move. I think a lot of the things that they were doing last week, one of the sacks that Josh Allen had was from Anthony Richardson holding on to the ball, and then he came around the back end and got that sack. That's not going to happen with Patrick.
It's not. In and out,
that
baby.
That ball is either going to be gone or he's going to be gone.
Or he's gone. Yes, great key.
Or he's gone. So make sure that you don't get beyond him, but you have to rush at him. You have got to disrupt that time in between him and Kelsey, because Kelsey's coming back this week. And I don't think that you're going to have all these drop passes like you did in the previous week. They've had 10 days to correct this thing, and they're the champs. They're not going to come in here and do that 2 weeks in a row. That was an aberration. So you have to tighten up your defense. Mike Caldwell, what are you going to do against Patrick Mahomes to knock him off his square and create some turnovers?
Man, listen. This is the matchup of the game. Now, no disrespect, because Trevor, we love you here on the sports desk. And we are rolling with you. And I believe Trevor is going to play well. But let's talk about Mahomes, because that's where we are right now. Mike Caldwell should have got 0 hours of sleep this week, watching anything and everything that he can to figure out what can be infiltrated to Patrick Mahomes, not the Chiefs offense. I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. You get his best friend in the world back and Travis Kelce, who is the greatest tight end of all time. I'm saying it. Okay. He's the greatest of all time. Yeah. Mahomes' confidence is never going to be wavered just because he took a 1-point loss to the Detroit Lions. He knows that they are much better than what they were, and here's going to be the problem. When you're dealing with a champion and you dealing with a person who's pretty much done it all in 5 years? He's Mahomes' 5th year. Yeah. He's done it all in 5 years. He's not going to be shaken. He's not going to. Matter of fact, he coming down here to Duval with it on his mind. Yeah. To remind us all of just who he is. And I think Mike Caldwell, he has to play this smart. I don't want to see that defense taking chances trying to get to Mahomes, and now you got Kelsey with his hand up down the field, butt naked for a touchdown. I don't want to see chances being taken against Patrick Mahomes, and now the Jaguars defensive players, all their heads are turned around because Mahomes got them turned around. So I think they got to play smart, sound defense. They got to tackle. Pick your spots to blitz just due to the rhythm of the game. If they calling something hot, you got to take what the Chiefs give you. So whatever they coming out lined up in, if you can afford to blitz there, then blitz. If you can't, dial it back. Because Andy Reid slept like a baby this week. because he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion and he know what he needs to do to get his team back on track.
Yeah.
That's going to be the matchup to me. So can Mike Caldwell be efficient and disciplined in his game, his defensive calls and the planning against Mahomes? It's going to be a tricky thing. I am excited to see Tyson Campbell, how he roams the field. Who's going to be the hot receiver outside of Kelsey for the Chiefs? Because Mahomes is going to give somebody an opportunity. It's just a matter of how the Jaguars defense responds, man. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. I think one of the things that has to happen is if you get your hands on the ball this game, you have got to come away with that pick. You've got to come away
turnover
with that fumble recovery. If they give you an opportunity, you're only going to get one. You may get lucky and get two, but if you get that opportunity, you have to cash in on it because those are the ways that you can beat this team. They don't get blown out. This game is going to be close regardless.
I agree.
So you have to make sure that you take advantage of the situations that if they present themselves.
Right.
You have to take advantage of that situation because if you don't, it's going to be a long day. That game started before Patrick Mahomes got hurt in that playoff game. He was going up and down the field, however it is that he wanted to. You cannot have that this game.
Super easy.
I mean, everything was bam, 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 bam. And you seen them try to double Kelsey. You seen them try to bleach Mahomes. It just does not work.
Man. Just didn't
you got to put your hands on them, and you got to try to disrupt this timing. The defensive tackles are going to be the key because if you're getting a lot of pressure with your defensive tackles,
right?
If you're getting a lot of pressure with your defensive tackles, it's going to force Mahomes to come out either to that left or right side where Josh Allen, where Walker is, so that they can get those sacks if they're beating their man.
I agree.
I expect Josh Allen to have a big game because their two tackles aren't that good.
Well, real quick on him, and I'm glad you brought him up. Did he look faster last week? Did he look like a game wrecker last week? Now, a game wrecker is few and far between. We talking like Aaron Donald. Right. We talking like TJ Watt. Right. We talking like guys, Chris Jones. We talking like these. They are few and far between. Did you see that last week? Because he was everywhere.
He was everywhere. This is a contract year. My boy trying to get paid. Listen, whatever motivates you, man, is if you come in motivated for that bread, come out and give Patrick Mahomes 2.5 sacks.
Give him hell.
Come on, give him hell. Give him hell. I mean, you go over there. What's his name? Dewan Payne.
Yeah.
Hey man, he can't play. He was awful last year for the Houston Texans. So now he's protecting the blind side of Patrick Mahomes. Hey man, listen. Go out there and get you one of them blind side blocks and knock that ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand and have Andre Cisco or one of them boys returning for a touchdown. Do that for me. You want to get paid? You do. This is the stage that you have to step up on so that you can get that money that you want.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I think one of the things too, speaking of Mike Caldwell, what are you going to do with Travis Kelce? To me, Andre Cisco played a really, really good game last week.
He did. Right? Tackle very well.
Andre Cisco played a really, really good game last week. And I think, to me, he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year because I think he's going to have the opportunities to showcase his skill set, especially on a bigger stage because his team is going to get better.
Okay.
If it's my defense, that's who I'm putting on Kelce. I'll double him sometimes, but I'm saying, Cisco, this is your game to deal with Travis Kelce.
That's a huge assignment.
He's going to be a little slowed down. So, of course, he's bigger than Cisco. But I believe Cisco has the range to way bigger. But I believe Cisco has the range to be able to disrupt and react to his routes.
Yeah.
So I think that's your best bet. He's big enough, he's strong enough, and he's fast enough to deal with Kelce. You don't want to put your strong safety on him because he's not fast enough to deal with Kelce. but he's
Right.
bigger, but he's not fast enough. So the times
Right.
that you can get your hands on him, I think Cisco can make that happen. I think that's the person that should be on Kelsey so that you can utilize your other pieces in different ways. Now, if Kelsey getting off, you got to go back to doubling them. If that don't work, just pray. that's all I can tell you. And just don't let anybody else beat you. If Kelsey wants to have 15 more receptions in this game, cool. But the times where you can knock down a ball with those other receivers, the times where you can intercept the ball with those other receivers, you have to make that happen. If Kelsey will go get off, let him get off. But nobody else can either. And don't let Isaiah Pacheco run up the sideline for 40 yards either.
Yeah. Listen, I really like Cisco. I think he's a very sound, balanced, very quality safety in the NFL. And the Pro Bowler thing will be huge for him.
Yeah.
It will be huge for him. And you're right. He is going to get massive opportunities this year to, take that claim as being an all-pro safety in the National Football League. But Rashad, I'm just going to keep it real. This is going to be something that the Jaguars have no answer for with 87. The way he moves about, the way he flies around the field, he can go X, Y, Z out the backfield. I just don't think Cisco or anybody else for that matter is going to have the opportunity to dial in on Kelsey. That's why the points we were making earlier on Mahomes are going to be so critical. With Kelsey, you better hope he drops the ball or you just make the tackle. Because if he is held, I was listening to a report this morning before we went on. They said that Kelsey is way ahead of schedule than what they thought with the knee. He's way ahead of schedule. So you know what that tells me?
Yeah,
he ready to hoop.
Yeah.
That's what that tells me. So
and that's what he gonna do next week tomorrow.
Yeah, and can Cisco just make a couple of key plays? That's where my mind is. Can he punch a ball out? Can he get a key 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6 pass break down? Can he swat the ball out of the air? Can a 7-yard reception? Can a 27-yard reception be a 7-yard reception because he made a key tackle? That's going to be the thing for Cisco. So if you look at the scoreboard, if you look at the stat sheet at the end of this game and see Kelsey had 10 catches for 127 yards and 3 touchdowns, just know that could have been 15 catches for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the Jaguars won 35-34 or something like that. So
listen, I don't mind. Just get me 1 point better. That's it. Just tackle. Just get me one. Tackle.
Cisco's got to be sound. Yeah.
Cisco's got to be sound. So getting to the overall feel for this game, what do you think is going to happen? What do I think is going to happen?
Right.
I don't know if it's going to necessarily be a shootout. I think both of these defenses are going to get their stops at times. But I think when they don't get stops, it's going to be touchdowns.
Right.
I think that you're going to also see Doug Peterson being aggressive in the red zone. If it's a 4th and 1 and they're inside the 30,
right, and
you might be down by 4, do I want to kick this field goal or do I feel good about getting this 1 yard so that I can get this touchdown? Those are going to be the decisions that he has to make.
Huge decisions
because you got to look at the flow of the game. How is the defense playing?
Right.
Do you think they can get a stop if you kick this field goal? Because if you kick this field goal and the Chiefs go down and score a touchdown, now you got to get a 2-point conversion.
Yep.
So, but if they're playing well and they stop you on that 4th down and they go down and they just kick a field goal, now you just got to score the same 7 points you were trying to score to tie. So those are going to be the decisions that have to be made. This is going to be a chess match between Doug Peterson and
Andy Reid.
Do we want to say the second greatest coach of all time, Andy Reid?
Yeah.
It's probably what he is.
Yeah.
At this
point.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be the matchup that we're looking at. How are these coaches going to handle this game in the big key moments? Because Andy Reid is not opposed to doing the same thing. 4th and 1 on his 30. 4th and 2 on his 30. Looking at this game and saying, man, shoot, Trevor's going up and down the field. We got to score.
Won't blink.
And that defense is going to have to step up in those moments. So the flow of this game, when we get to the 4th quarter, what is going to happen with this Jaguars team? How are they going to feel? I think the crowd is going to help that. Say the game is sold out, standing room only. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need this crowd to make sure that they are in this game the entire game, loud as I don't know what, trying to create false starts. All that stuff is going to help this team try to win this game by 1. That's all we're trying to do.
Yep.
We can win this game by 1 point, and it's a victory.
Get the 2-0.
Just get the 2-0, and you get them to 0-2, and you're 2.5 games above them. They got 2.5 games to make.
And they got to come see you in January.
Got to come see you in January. That's all you want. You don't want to go to Arrowhead in January. You want them to come here in January.
Mm-hmm.
I seen something. Do you know that Patrick Mahomes has not played a playoff game outside of Arrowhead?
Yes, I do know that, and that is ridiculous.
He's been
50 in the league.
He's not played an away playoff game. You won his first test to be in Jacksonville.
And every season that he started has gotten at least to the AFC title game.
At least to the AFC title game. And
now think about that.
Every single time it's been home. 5 years in a row.
Think about that. So that's who coming down here.
That's who's coming down here. Just in case you didn't know who's coming down here. That's what you got to do.
To give y'all a little bit more insight. If you're a casual football fan, we just want to give you a little bit more insight. But I agree with you. The overall take of the game for me is going to be, I'm going to go to the other side of the field. I'm going to go to the home team. Can Trevor Lawrence go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes? And I'm not even talking about score for score. I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about getting the guys back up and getting back on the ball. I'm talking about, keeping everybody dialed in and focused on what needs to be done. I'm talking about equally spreading the ball out to this beautiful wide receiver core. And I'm going to say this. I don't know how you feel, Rashad, but do the Jacksonville Jaguars have the top wide receiving core in the NFL?
From top to bottom, it's got to be top 3. I don't know who else could be there.
I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, I can't think of another core, a receiving core group, receiving core.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, who's better than the Jags?
Yeah, top 3 receivers and plus your tight end and your quarterback. That's core like that, those 4. I don't know if you have one that's that good because the Chiefs wide receivers are not better than the Jaguars.
No, they're not.
Their tight ends better. Their running backs are not better than the Jaguars.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Their line's a little better, but
that's what I'm saying. So what the Jaguars are bringing in here on the offensive side of the ball, the Chiefs defense should have a long day. They should have a long day. Now Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid getting all this publicity and all this love, and by God, they should.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that ball, them boys that got that Jaguar on their helmet, they gonna feast on this defense of the Chiefs. Doug.
Yeah.
Open it up, baby.
Yeah.
I expect to have Doug to have the big play sheet.
Yeah.
Holding it like this here. That's what I expect to see from Doug. Trevor Lawrence, can he stay dialed in with the leadership while he's trying to deal with 15 and what he got going on offense? That's the overall feel for me with the Jaguars on the offensive side of the ball. I want to hear Christian Kirk's name tomorrow. I want to hear his name. I want to see more of Zay Jones, who's gotten so much better in just one game sample size than he was last year. I said, my God, Zay's even that better? Big Ingram and Calvin. I mean, my Lord, did Calvin really say, hey, guys, I'm back.
I'm back. In one half. And that's for me, that's going to be the difference in this game because you didn't have that deep ball threat. So Spag felt comfortable with blitzing. But now it's going to cost.
It's going to come with a price.
This team and they pick it up that's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
And I think that Spag is gonna have to think about that. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna
have to think about.
He's gonna try.
He's gonna try it, and he's gonna get burnt. Believe me, he's gonna try it, and he will get burnt.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that's gonna make it a little easier on the offense because you're not gonna see these exotic blitzes coming because the first time they make them pay for it, and you gotta make them pay for it. Once that happens, oh boy. Now you can dictate what's going on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
So yeah. All right. So we already know what the coaching advantage is in this game.
Yeah.
We know that we're dealing with probably the second greatest coach.
We're dealing with a GOAT.
Yeah, one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
One of the GOATs.
Dealing with a GOAT. Yeah.
They said he's gonna, if he wins this game, he's gonna tie Landry for 4th most wins in NFL history.
Wow.
It kind of shows you what kind of coach that you're dealing with. So we know the coaching advantage goes to Andy Reid. Absolutely. But we don't have a slouch on the other side.
We do not.
We got his pupil.
Yes,
we got somebody that sat up under him for years and years and years. They know each other very well.
Very well.
Very well. So, and both times, the Jaguars lost this game by possession up in Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're better. And honestly, I think they're worse. They're still good, but they lost weapons. They lost weapons in the offseason. So let's see what this team can do tomorrow, how they can establish themselves in the hierarchy of the AFC if they can take that and show everybody that they're for real. Because this is that type of game. This is a game to show the entire NFL that the Jaguars are for real. They were coming last year. They were a nice little story, all that. Now you need to let everybody know that you're for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, prediction. Prediction for me. Jaguars 31.
Woo.
Kansas City Chiefs 28.
Woo.
Winning the game by a field goal. Tied up. We get the ball last. And Trevor shows what he is.
So I've been thinking about this, man, the prediction, because I knew it was coming around the show. And just to echo your sentiments of everything with the coaching matchup with Andy Reid and Doug Peterson, well said. I don't really have nothing much to add except one thing. I think Doug Peterson, in my opinion, Doug Peterson is a top 5-7 coach in this league, in my opinion. All right. This is going to be an opportunity for Doug to say, you know what? I know we have the groceries in the cupboard, but I'm going to cook up this meal. And y'all going to recognize me as one of the top chefs in all of the NFL. This is a game for him to go up against his mentor, Andy Reid. This is a game for him to once again go on display. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to step up to the challenge and serve notice that I'm a Super Bowl champion as well. I'm a Super Bowl champion as well. So I think he's going to take that opportunity, and he has the weapons to do that. Prediction in the game, man, we know how these games go down here in Duval, man. When these big teams come down here, these celebrated organizations, Cowboys, Patriots, Seahawks, like when they come down here, man, it's like an electric atmosphere, man. The playoff games with the Chargers last year is always some drama in the bank.
Yes, it is.
Some drama. But with that being said, I just think the Jaguars are better than the Chiefs. I just think that they're better than the Chiefs right now. But here's the thing. The best players, the top 3 best players on the Chiefs, they're better than the top 3 players on the Jaguars. Yes. And that is the common denominator that's going to keep this thing here. With that being said, I'm going to go to Jacksonville Jaguars 33, Kansas City Chiefs 31. Last second field goal for the Jaguars to win this game. I mean, 33-30. That's my score. I got it written right here. 33-30. Last second field goal. I believe this game is tied late. Trevor gets the ball late, has an opportunity to drive the Jags down the field, get him in position. We get the field goal. we move to 2-0. Would it surprise me at all if the Chiefs win this game? It would not.
No.
I don't want them to win this game because I know what the ramifications are going to be in December and in January as we get ready for the playoffs. Rashad said it best on the live show a couple weeks back. It is going to be critical for the Jaguars to get these playoff games at home. Going to Buffalo in January, don't want to have to do that. Going to Arrowhead in January, don't want to have to do that. Going to Cincinnati in January, don't want to have to go do that. Now, are we confident?
No.
If we got to go do that, hell yeah, we confident. Let's go.
Yeah, we can do that.
But if we can get them down here, man, we got a great shot to get it done. So, Jaguars 33, Chiefs 30. Jags move to 2-0. But the more interesting story is the Chiefs go to 0-2. 0-2. 0-2.
Yeah, man.
0-2. So this has been another great episode, man. Great episode. Weekly matchup show with my guy, Mr. Moodham Chains, Rashad Robinson. We will be doing this each and every week. As long as the Jaguars are playing football, you would get some breakdown and some deep analysis on the matchup before the games happen. And hopefully you guys enjoying what you're seeing. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel. Spread the show out, man. Let people know there's another sports channel out, and we're putting that quality content, and we'll be getting better as we go. So hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and thank you guys. Rashad, anything to wrap up this show, man? Your show.
Listen, if you are in Jacksonville and you have the means, it's not gonna rain. Listen, it's not gonna rain. Don't worry about rain. If you here and you have the means, get your behind in that stadium. These boys need you.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we reflect the play on the field in the stands. If we're gonna be a top flight organization on the field, in the stands, it needs to reflect that. Y'all boys come to this game, y'all support these boys, y'all be loud for these boys, and let's go out here and go get this win.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. We will be in the house down at the stadium, and looking forward to reporting back to y'all the energy that was in the stadium. And you know, maybe I'll film some clips and post them here on next week's show just to kind of recap the vibe of the stadium, because it's just something about those big games down here, man. I'm sure it's like that around the league in general, but it's something about them down here, man. It's always some drama, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how that plays out. So again, thank you guys for watching the weekly matchup show, breaking down the Jacksonville Jaguars matchup each and every week with Mr. Moodham Chains, Rashad Robinson. I'm your guy, 130 sportsologist, Dedrick L. Hicks Jr., and we will see you guys next week. Go Jags.
Yes, sir. Go Jags.